We're gonna shoot over to YouTube at 9:30. Good morning, everybody.
Let's-
Good morning.
What's going on, everybody?
Thank you guys for rocking in the
Oh, Thursday. It's my off day. I'm worried. I'm like,
hey,
oh my lordy, what day? Hey, Miss Deborah. I'm thinking
thank
to
you.
myself,
Morning, Deborah.
is it Wednesday or
Happy
Thursday?
Thursday.
Gotta remember.
Yes.
All right.
So
We in the building. We in the
yes,
building.
in the building. Blessings, Lisa.
Morning,
Blessings.
Lisa.
So you're rocking with another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. We appreciate you hanging. This is the opportunity. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
This is your chance to share. Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. Good morning, Cheryl, sports car lady. Good morning. Good morning. All right. So we're dropping the intro. Give you opportunity to share. Then we're gonna roll into our topic. All right. So just stick with us. And bam.
But don't be the meal. You know when you said that, don't be the meal.
Experience is the best teacher, but truth is the Holy Spirit is the best teacher.
If you can find the straightest path to the queen that you're supposed to be with, I believe in, and she finds her straightest path to you, then I think it gets away from all those, the skeletons in the closet.
We aim for the wrong things.
Right.
We aim to make our children a good husband. We aim to make our children good wives or successful businessmen or success, whatever.
Right.
The aim is wrong.
Trending is not happening without curiosity. So what's driving curiosity? You understand? People that are successful, people that are effective in life are people with priorities.
Yes. Priorities. All right.
What that man said, priority. Priority.
Oh, greetings, Mama McCory.
Hey, Mom.
All
Mama.
right. Let's get it. Bye-bye.
Hey, y'all, for real though. Hold on.
You got to warn my mother we're going to YouTube at 9:30.
Oh, yeah. Yes, and I put the link in Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, I think she is. Yes. You'll see it in the description at the bottom. You click the link, it'll send you right over to this broadcast in YouTube. So I'm trying to make it easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All right. So today
Thank you on Periscope for who throwing his hearts.
Yes.
I'm not sure who that is, but thank you.
Yes, busting out the hearts. Appreciate you. So today we're talking about how do you remain consistent with your family in the midst of all the craziness between COVID, for us as Black men, just the cop situations and just so much going on around us. Having a consistent message of peace, of having a consistent message of what are we doing? Are we going out? Are we staying in? How are we operating on a day-to-day basis? And I know we pray, we focus, we let God be our guiding light. But we do have our human side that kind of says, hey, what are we doing? We're going here, we're doing this. What's our next move? What's our next step? So today just going to kind of tackle that and many other things. Because me and Pastor were talking off camera beforehand, and oh man, so we're probably going to dig into that as well. But so how are you guys kind of maintaining the consistency in your family amidst the craziness?
Well,
anyone?
If I can start, let me start with how my life is with COVID. Let's start with COVID. COVID is me and Melissa kind of have the same wavelength, kind of as far as we're cautious. We're both immune compromised, so we're when we go out in places and public places, we wear face coverings and things of that nature. And with for example, like the kids just started school here a week ago, and there's already a confirmed case in my middle school that my son goes to. And so, we have to be careful in that way because we have a 3-year-old too, and you have to be sure. But it's crazy. I think the worst part of the difference between me and our family is with what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
COVID, we're kind of under one roof, but with the world, it's a little different because we get looked at different because I'm black and my wife is Caucasian. So I get questions all the time, like, okay, Terry, how do y'all, what's going on? I mean, how do you feel about this and that? And, and it has,
Good
we
morning,
talk.
Jefferoni.
What's up, Joe? Hey, what's up, man? Um, we talk. It's difficult. It's difficult, but I know it's something that we have to have because
Yeah.
we have, that difference with our race. But um, we just try to talk everything through it. It's not really crazy. We kind of, she's like, honey, her main concern, especially with the world, and we live in a red state, and when we go out, or when I go out, she's like, I'm really nervous for you.
Mm.
I am scared for you,
I hate that for you, man. But
and,
that's the
and
Right.
it's
reality.
and it's rough. It's the reality of it all, and that's why I don't go out. To be honest with you, if it's not work, I don't do it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's homework, 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 and it's I feel, and then if I go, and this is being just a transparent moment. If I leave my house here, um, any place other than work, I have my wife with me. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
that's kind of how we just roll. I hate it, but that's kind of what it is for me.
It's hard being consistent in an inconsistent year. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
like, even this morning I woke up the CDC changing guidelines for testing because the president is tired of the testing. So now people who are don't show any symptoms, now CDC is encouraging them not to go get tested. So that's just a change up from what we've been dealing with. So when you're talking about trying to keep your family on the same page and the government keep turning the page,
Yeah,
it's a very hard thing to do. But
very.
if I could shoot just some practicality to it, like what me and my wife have been doing, I know this sounds small, but we went ahead and did the Disney Plus, and every Friday night we eating chicken wings and we having a movie night with the girls. And as hard as I work, as hard as she works, when I say that's the only thing they're looking forward to, you know what I mean? So they picked the movie by Monday. They're super excited about it. And I was about to stop doing it because uh, my kids walk around and they kind of can reenact some of this Disney stuff. They saying too much for me. And just because I
Yeah.
think my daddy would have a problem with it, I'm like, this too much. I don't want to be the kid that breaks the chain. So I was going to stop it. But me and my wife she encouraged me if in uncertain times the most we can give them is looking forward to movie night, then let's keep doing that because this has been a shaky year, man.
To
And
say the
it's been
least.
information overload. I know this is information age, but information overload. Like there are so many sources, trusted or not. I mean, don't listen to the White House, but listen to CDC. Well, that doctor know what he's talking about, but not in Georgia. Well, that
Right.
governor gets the right idea, but don't listen to the like. What a minute, man.
Right.
So this has been a challenge, and it's just a challenging year, man.
Right.
Yeah, it's
It
challenging. It
is
is really challenging. And
definitely.
going back to COVID just for a sec, um, you know, my
What up, D?
What's up,
What
dude?
grandmother-in-law,
up?
my grandmother-in-law, and grandfather-in-law, both were COVID positive,
Oh man.
Okay.
and the grandfather
Mhm.
made a recovery. He's it's a struggle, but he's out of the hospital and all that. The grandmother, not so much. And Melissa, my wife, I have to, she's had a really tough time because the grandmother was the matriarch of the family.
Gotcha.
And when COVID hit, she was in ICU, she was on a ventilator, she was on, a lot of stuff. And they've already called in, palliative care, things of this nature. So
Okay.
she's preparing to go to Illinois. And so I want everybody to understand that, this COVID thing is as aggravating as it is, you know, it's true. I got
It's still real.
my
Right.
my my best man, who was my best man in my wedding, him and his wife both right now are COVID positive and are quarantined. And so it's just This whole thing is kind of crazy. So you have to, especially with this COVID thing, you definitely have to have some kind of a plan or a strategy or what have you, because it's real out here in these streets, man. For real.
Yeah.
Praying
So
for grandma.
yeah, between family and I got you, E, keeping that consistency with with your kids, something to look forward to.
Yeah.
I think is definitely necessary. My kids as well. We do like the Friday, Saturday thing, going out, grabbing something, of course, and coming back home. But they look forward to like Friday. Oh yeah, we don't have to eat in the house. We don't have to eat in the house. And my daughter, she is, she any opportunity that car is pulling out the driveway, she wants to get in the car. I'm done with school. Let's go.
I gotta go to Family Dollar. I just some cookies for $1.
Right.
Good.
So she grabbed it, pocket. I got a Visa gift card. Let me use it. I'm trying to get out this house. So
Yeah.
I do understand. So
you think it's going to have an effect on them long term?
Thank you, sir.
Like will they remember? I mean, they're going to remember, but
yeah.
is this going to be one of those years? Like I remember Hurricane Andrew. It stood out. I mean, on the news, you hear about it. I saw the devastation during and after. So I'm just wondering, is this going to be one of those years that's locked into my children's memory?
Well, you know what? Speaking of hurricanes, I know Pastor Brian and Dwayne, and AD maybe even remembers, but back in, what was it, 86? When Hurricane Hugo came through?
89.
You remember Hurricane Hugo?
89.
89. I knew it was 80 something. I was a youngin.
Yes.
And
left an oak tree in the middle of my house.
Yeah, we lived in a trailer. And my mom and daddy was like, we're getting out of here. And we did, and they had a shelter at the school, at the high school. And so we all left the house and went out to the high school, because it was like, oh, hurricanes don't make landfall. They don't come, on land. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
It was a hurricane all the way until Charlotte. It like made landfall and Charleston, skirted up the coastline, went up the Myrtle Beach, then came inland over my hometown, and then ended up still being a hurricane when it hit Charlotte.
Yep. It was still a category 3 or something when it hit Charlotte.
But even when you're saying, go ahead, D, I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say I apologize for my thoughts and comments when I probably watched that hurricane in '89. Like, oh, whew, it just stopped down there. Because I don't remember Hugo. I don't think Hugo affected at least my town.
Didn't affect you,
New York. But Gloria kicked our butt. I can't remember what year. I think that was like 86, 85 or something. Because I remember it knocking down trees, and I got a picture of me standing like this on top of some trees like this.
Oh, so okay. So you're like Oscar the shark player on top of that shark. I feel you.
When all that was going on, I was in Hawaii.
Nice.
Oh, boo.
You didn't get hurricanes.
Boo that man. Boo that man.
But even when you had it, man, like you were saying, like, I think about the governments, those in authority, and the advice they give. And just like now, we count on the so-called experts to give us, what to be cautious for. You got to make your own decisions for your family. But when you come in, especially the White House, when you stand behind that seal, that's supposed to mean something. And I know we don't generally trust, however you want to define trust the government like that. But like, they should at least be given, okay, let's say it's not that big of a deal. Like, we're not anticipating. But when the government says it's not that big of a deal, they mean like, well, only 14,000 people gonna die. Like, that's not, like, I might be one of that 14, Yeah. So it's important that we leadership, we should be able to count on you during times like this to the best that you can. Because it's uncertain times for you as well. But
that's when it matters to the general government. That's when it should matter to the general public. In times of chaos and times where we really do need government to step in and be government instead of on a little thing. Romello, what's up, brother? But I'm listening to y'all, and I was almost wanting to bite my tongue and not say anything because I came in on Terry talking about COVID, and like my honest to God feelings about COVID is this: it's absolutely 100% a real virus, and it's absolutely 100% killing people.
Yeah.
But I don't think I think it's been blown out of proportion to the extent
Gotcha.
of this.
I got you.
Way more people die in America with other natural causes and other viruses on a yearly basis. You can't even compare the numbers, but this, for some reason, has been the virus that has crippled America and brought us to our knees, so to speak. The flu kills 5 times more people than COVID has killed this year. But we don't go this crazy over the flu. And I'm not saying nobody's dying, because obviously people are dying. And then we also got to take into account that for a long time, the first couple of months, much of the death, unless it was special cases, autopsies wasn't being done, and people who were dying a lot of times got categorized under COVID circumstances or under COVID suspicions on their death certificate. So even the numbers aren't 100% correct, but it's one of those things. It's become more political than it has, let's save Americans.
Right.
But D, what you say that to say what though? You where do you stand with?
I this is me personally. I think number one, immune health should be the biggest thing being preached. And I say all of that to say this. There you go, Terry. I said it.
Yeah, no, I was waiting for it.
I said all that to say this. I think we should respect it. I think that we should prepare ourselves and follow some guidelines. But I think at the same time we have to have an amount of personal accountability that, okay, put a mask on. If you got asthma, don't wear a mask, but don't be out. Go do the online ordering. I think that we should absolutely follow guidelines, but I don't think we should follow it to the point where it's completely turned our lives upside down. And talking about what people remember what affects them. So my children are going to remember this because, we got kicked out of school, and Daddy had to become our teacher. And
they're gonna remember that part of it.
And Daddy might not be as patient as Miss Green or who else. Daddy's not gonna give me an excuse. I mean, they're gonna definitely remember those things. They're gonna remember, we had to wear masks. I remember Hugo because there was an oak tree in the middle of my house when I woke up. I slept through it, but there was a 60-year oak tree in like 10 feet from where I was sleeping. I remember Katrina because my daughter was born the day before, and I was so happy going back to Arizona, and I saw the people who decided to run too late. I saw the miles and miles and miles and miles of lines of people trying to get out of New Orleans. Hurricane Dorian, for a lot of people, that's a footnote. But my mother-in-law was on Abacos. Abacos was the island that was hit by Dorian. And when I tell you that
wait. You're going down another path and you haven't given people an opportunity to respond to what you just said.
Yes.
Okay.
There are many insertions of comments, and I want to say this. I agree with everything that you said. I think that a lot of things get blown out of proportion in America, but I think in the world, because to Terrell's point, we're in an information age where you get the information faster.
Right.
The challenge when we talk about things being blown out of proportion is, and why we're in the situation why it's been made political is because people had questions. It was different. We understand that the flu kills people, but COVID is the flu.
This is different.
And it's a different type of flu. And as much as we know about the standard flu, whatever you want to call it, but the regular flu is a strain of flu. We don't even know the strain because we've gotten comfortable just calling it the flu.
Right.
And I would guarantee you that when people die of the regular flu, there are different strains killing people.
Yeah.
But we don't research that because we've gotten so comfortable with it.
Right.
So
True.
COVID is new. I saw somebody put in the comment that the rate of death was different with COVID.
Right.
Yeah.
And COVID was attacking people, and people did not have an understanding of it.
Right.
Nor was
Right.
there a vaccine to fight against it.
Right.
You know, I tell people that even the regular flu vaccine every year is just preventative maintenance. It's not a
Right.
cure.
Right.
Yeah,
It's not
because there is no cure for any virus, and that irks me because people we say that all people keep talking about a cure. There is no cure. There's no cure for a cold.
But people get more. But people feel better if they know that we have an understanding of it.
Right.
The issue with COVID,
No one
you don't
really
have an
understands.
understanding of something. You look to leaders to give you a sense of comfort.
Right.
So,
The problem we have in America is that we did not look to science to give us comfort. We fell victim to the opinion of the president.
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. And that sent a bad message because there were people who agreed with the president who said, I'm going to do what he does.
Right.
And the impact to that, and I'm going to speak from another perspective. I'm going to speak from the perspective of someone who has a highly vulnerable person in my household.
Right.
Where I have to be even extra careful. And my son was sick in January. And I really thought, and nobody knows this, I thought I was losing him in January. Right. And at the time, his insurance canceled out.
I remember that.
Yeah.
The round-the-clock nurses stopped coming.
Right.
So I was working my job and taking care of my son, and he was filled with mucus.
Right.
And I did not have a cough assist machine, a machine that helps him get his cough out because his muscles don't work enough. And I want to give you just a different perspective. My son doesn't have the strength to cough.
Right.
Like his cough is like I don't even think you heard that because he doesn't have the strength to cough. So if he has mucus in his chest, congestion, he can't get it out. He needs a machine to force the air out.
Right.
Well, so I'm left with giving him physical chest compressions.
Right.
I'm literally doing CPR on my son in the month of January because he's congested. And you know how you get half a cough out and then that phlegm gets stuck in your throat and you can't really breathe. You got
Yeah.
So what happens when you can't clear your throat?
Right.
So I'm battling with him every 5 minutes, trying to give him chest compressions to get this stuff out. And COVID is just beginning.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't have. He's in a wheelchair. He can't do anything on his own. His mind works, but his muscles don't. Bathroom, bathing, up in the morning, down at night, monitoring through the night. I'm having to do this round the clock and still work every day, still pasture every day, and all of that kind of stuff. And I'm saying to you that so when people talk about, wear your mask, don't wear the mask, well, how do you think that sounds to me?
Right.
If someone knocks on my door and you don't have a mask on, I might pull out my pistol.
Right.
Is that serious?
Because,
Understandable. Yeah.
And so the point that I'm trying to make is, we all have our feelings, but the reality is when you have leaders who say, I don't believe in wearing the mask.
Right.
That leader is not talking. He doesn't know my experience.
Right.
Okay. So, and I'm saying, when it comes to common sense and all, no, I'm saying wear the mask.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying it's common sense tells me wear the mask because you reduce the risk if you take preventative measures.
Right.
So you have to take feelings out of it, and it's not about. So the point I want to make is we lose sight of the reality when leaders give their opinion.
Right.
With Terrell's point, from Terrell's point, you have influence.
Right.
And people are going to listen to you.
Right.
So if you're saying one thing and science is saying something else, and people are crazy enough to listen to you because it's uncomfortable for them to walk around with a mask on.
Right.
Yeah.
They want the comfortable information.
Yeah.
Right.
And to your point, Pastor, that's kind of what I got disappointed. I saw Jeff make a comment on here that, is more behind COVID, it's political. It ended up political. This started like really dead serious. People were dying.
Right.
I remember, y'all remember was it West Nile with the mosquitoes?
Yes.
Like mosquitoes are everywhere, and we didn't have to go in the house. Like a random mosquito can come bite you, and you got West Nile, and they didn't shut anything down. So when they shut it down for COVID, I said, "Wait a minute, what is this?" So, and even as you were talking, and just to go to the Bible for a minute, I was thinking about like Pharaoh and all those times Moses came and told him let it go. He didn't let them go until his son died. You know what I'm saying? So how many of those plagues could have been avoided if he would have been like, okay, you know, all them leeches and frogs, okay, I get you, y'all can go. But no, the whole city went through all that because his heart was hard. You know what I'm saying? So I feel the same thing. I don't know if President Trump's brother died from COVID or whatever, but I'm just saying
they didn't say
it didn't hit his. It doesn't matter to him till it hit home for him. Is all I'm saying.
Exactly.
And we got if anything I'm disappointed at, and especially with inconsistency, is just the leadership. I don't mind you getting it wrong, but like taking this lightly.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if you ever watch Trevor Noah's show and they made this montage of all the Fox News, all the presidents, like just, you know, just it's they made it funny, but it's just showing them kind of double talking, you know. It's not real, it's not a big deal. And then
we're gonna talk about it forever. And
But even though it's a funny political show, I was looking at it and it's crazy,
satire.
Man.
It's satire. They base it in the truth.
It's the truth.
It's the funny truth.
Right.
And my thing is, like, after Pastor brings that perspective, it's very hard to argue that because that's real life.
Yeah.
And that's what everybody who don't experience something, that's what we don't see on a daily basis. I somewhat understand his point even before he said it, because my wife is a nurse and she works in the industry where she cares for people like BJ, and then some who don't even have the mental capacity, let alone the physical capacity. So with my wife, it was always serious. Baby, you just came out, you just came from it. Wash your hands. We got babies here. And you know what? Even if I felt, and I did feel, and I do feel that it's not as serious for me in my house, because I know our immune systems to an extent. Even though I know it's not as serious for me in my house, when I leave the house, I put a mask on. Not for me per se, but I don't know who I'm going to run into. I don't know who I'm going to offend. And the same argument I gave earlier about how I take vitamin D, I take echinacea, I take immune supplements, I'm getting fresh air, even though I'm doing all those things.
Mm-hmm.
For me, when I put a mask on, I could probably run them out just out of stubbornness with my mask on. So it's not going to kill me to put my mask on and go to Walmart for 45 minutes to shop, not knowing who has a compromised immune system that I'm passing in the store. My issue came from how it was politicized and how it became polarizing, because now, because you got people who dislike the president. Now I'm taking all the science away, but you got people who dislike the president, and you got people who looking to make an argument about another reason we should get rid of him. They took something that was serious, and then they split the American public down the middle. And now you have doctors who say,
we haven't got to that.
You have doctors who
let me add to that. Here's my response to that, Dwayne. I would say this, people who are against the president. The issue that I have with the man is far too often he's on the wrong side of common sense.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. So he makes it easy for you to be against him. See, I'm not against the office. I have a problem with the mindset of the
individual.
Because I can't tell you. I don't know when I heard him speak and I said, "Oh wow, yeah, that's a great point."
Never.
You understand? So, like when he opens up his mouth, you keep questioning how in the world did he get elected? Right. And so that's the issue. And so much has happened that he's in a position now to where if you support the person, people look at you like something is really wrong with you. What could possibly be so broken in you that you think that guy makes sense?
And Pastor, but even with that though, the voter and the supporter, I do separate them. Like if you vote for him, let's say you just feel in your God honest heart that voting Republican is the best interest for you, your community, and your family, right? Cool. Those Trump supporters, though, the people that identify with what he's saying, they trouble me. If I see a 60-year-old man with a Trump hat and a gun, I know what he thinks about me.
Okay, this is where we get. I don't know, maybe because I'm old. I'm not that old, y'all. I'm not that old.
Right.
But as a leader, I'm a leader on a small scale compared to national and global leaders.
Right.
But I'm still a leader nonetheless.
Yeah.
And I know that when I speak, I'm going to have an impact. I'm going to have influence.
Right.
There are people who are going to listen to me who are going to, 9 times out of 10, they're going to agree with me first before they even think about what I said.
Yeah.
That makes me powerful, but it also makes me dangerous.
Yeah.
So the Bible says, to whom much is given, much is required. When you know that you have influence and you know that the colorful things that you say, people are going to run with it. Right. That's the problem that I have, because you know what you're doing.
Right. And
all right. Yeah. So it's hard when it comes to an individual like that. It's hard to separate the politics from the person, because how can I trust you to vote to make decisions that are in my best interest when I know that you have zero character?
Because people do like what you just said, Pastor. A lot of people vote blindly. They vote loyalty. Like you said, they agree before. There's people who vote just because they're lifetime Republicans. You know what I mean?
Well, that's why I put it back on the leader.
Okay.
The individual.
I have to put it back on the individual who's in that position, who knows to whom much is given, much is required. Right. We have to, I think the earlier point was, we have to be better as leaders. And what I'm saying is, here's a person who says it's all about me.
Yeah.
And I don't care whether you are a Republican or a Democrat. And I struggle to even have political conversations for people to understand where I come from, because if I start talking, I've had people say, "Oh, you're a Republican." By the time I get done talking, people think I'm a Republican.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Because a lot of the agenda supports me, but guess what? The largest part of it is financial.
Right.
My financial disposition reports a Republican agenda.
Right.
But my heart doesn't.
Yeah.
Right.
But and because I'm a man of faith,
right,
I don't worry about my money.
Right.
Because I know God is the one who enables me to obtain wealth.
Right.
So I cannot follow Republicans for the sake of money.
Right.
Right.
Because I have to give an account.
Right. True.
Being a steward is not just over money. Being a steward is over your influence. It's over your families. It's over your entire walk. And we always associate it with money.
Yeah.
You got to give an account for the influence that you've had in this world. And I'm saying, how can you believe in a God if you don't want to give an account for your influence?
Right.
Yeah.
True.
And I don't want to discourage people, because I believe this is an important election, like they always say. But like when I say I'm so sick and tired of this election cycle from both sides, like kind of to Dwayne's point a little bit,
hasn't gotten this messy in a while.
The fact that they could weaponize a virus and use it. I heard a commentator say that in politics you should never waste a good crisis, and it might be some truth to that, but it bothers me.
There is.
It bothers me.
I think the problem, is, and kind of how we started talking about it, is the fact that, like Dwayne was saying, so if the media and what they call the pundits start talking about how bad this is, how bad Trump is doing, usually most times the president at least ignores that, follows what the scientists say, and just plows forward. Like he don't address all the nonsense. He don't address the little voices. He knows he's the larger voice, the biggest influencer, and he speaks on a national level, to affect change, and we hear what he says. We sit back, we're like, okay, we're cool. This is the plan. Nationally, This, of course, there's the outliers that no, this ain't, but overall, we're like, this is the plan. This is how we're gonna operate, But when he begins to split hairs and dig into the weeds and go down a rabbit hole, is when you're like, is this the dude we're supposed to be listening to?
Well, that's because you keep expecting for your leader of the free world to have more information than you. But guess what? He gets his information from the same places we get ours.
But even the people that he has, all those Harvard graduates, all those 30-year lawyers, all the people that make up his cabinet, they can give advice. He's not listening to it. Like
right. He said all the time, he refuses to listen to the intelligence in the morning and stuff. He don't want to hear it.
Yeah, because they have some impartial, trusted people that are there who serve Republicans. If you watch the impeachment trial, they had foreign ambassadors that served Democrats and Republican presidents. So they're trusted. They're true blue patriots, and he just refuses to listen to them. You know what I mean? So it's all on leadership. You remember when he told them disinfectant will cure COVID, and they had like 1,700 cases the next day. Like to pastor's point, they listen to him.
And the thing is, it does, but it kills every other cell too.
Yeah, yeah. You see what I'm saying?
It'll help you, but the side effects will kill you.
Yeah.
When it comes to maintaining consistency in your family, it still boils down to this:
laying the foundation.
Right? It still boils down to keeping your foundation at home. Right? That's what this is about. When you talk about consistency, if your family, because the Bible tells us that we are in the world but not of the world.
Right.
So if your foundation is strong, you're not going to be tossed by every wind and doctrine. Information can enable you, but it should not cripple you. Right. And we allowed the information to Dwayne's point. The information began to cripple the country.
Yeah.
That's the reality.
He incites the psychos. That's my problem. He it's like going to the crazy house and getting everybody riled up. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
and with you saying that, before I forget it, Jeff put up a comment in response to Ephraim about 5 minutes ago. He said, "You're wrong. I'm 65 or something." I got right there. And I'm glad that this picture, leave that up there for a second, because right now, everybody that's either on the screen or on the program, we got a mutual love and respect for each other.
Right.
Even though we don't have all the same lifestyle choices or whatever, we got a base that's pretty much the same.
Right.
And I want to show this dynamic because Ephraim feels that when he see a 60-plus-year-old white male with a MAGA hat on and he got a gun, he's seeing what the average person may feel because of the climate that we're in.
Right.
And that's why he made the statement. But Jeff is like, hold on, wait a minute. I'm in that same group you're talking about.
Right.
And I'm on y'all show every day because I appreciate everything that y'all putting out.
Right.
So this is what gets lost when the world goes crazy. And this is what happened because you got people who really do
that's great.
mess with each other, love each other. I support you. But it's hard for us to see it because when statements are made or when certain people, when certain people do certain things, people generally jump into where they're comfortable.
Right.
And a lot of times color does play a part in that. So you have people, I put it, Muhammad Ali, he made it was funny, but he made a statement on a show one time. He was like, there's 1,000 snakes coming at me.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, 100 of them snakes, they love me.
Yeah.
They don't want to kill me. They don't want to hurt me.
Right.
But the other 900 of those snakes, they want to eat me. They want to kill me. He was like, so am I supposed to sit around while those other 900 snakes come to get me and expect those 100 snakes? And I know that might not be the case, but
that's on point.
Yeah.
And you can't figure out which ones are against you
without knowing who laboring among you.
Right, they all look like snakes.
and also making that decision in a split second. And I appreciate Jeff, but I gotta agree with you too, Jeff. I'm absolutely stereotyping, because if I get it wrong, it will cost me my life. And I got a family I'm trying to come home to. So, Jeff, if I meet you out there with a Trump hat on, man, I'm gonna keep my distance, because I grew up around guns. Guns bother me not. When President Obama ran, the pastor got all the men in the department. We got a little hat or whatever. You know, Obama gear was everywhere. You go to a corner at a gas station, somebody was selling it. But it was more of a pride, in my opinion. It was more of a pride thing. If I see you with a Trump hat on, I feel like you're trying to represent something. I feel like it's a statement. I feel like you're trying to say, this is what I'm about. I feel like you're emboldened. So yeah, I'm stereotyping, but like, you know what that hat represents.
Just like the Confederate flag.
Yeah, they said that for many moons, that the MAGA hat was the new white sheet. So
yeah, I mean, but the reason for that is because the person who donned it, it wasn't because he put the hat on. It's not because of him putting the hat on. It's because of what comes out his mouth when he's wearing it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that sends a message. And so if you put the hat on, that means you agree with everything that's coming out of his mouth. And if you agree with everything that's coming out of his mouth, I should fear you.
Yeah.
That's the reality. So I don't think that's stereotyping. I think you've made it clear. I think you've made it clear what you represent, because the biggest argument is, what America are you trying to define when you say make it great again?
Right.
You're saying let's go bring back what we once had.
When?
So help me understand what that is. So when you put on a MAGA hat, you're saying let's take it back to where we once were.
Yeah.
So help me understand what that means. So that's not a stereotype to me. You're speaking very loud and clear about who you are and what you represent, because that hat came with a definition.
Yes.
So how is that? I'm not making assumptions about you, because we all know when that hat was put on, there was a definition put on behind that hat.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm not making excuses for anyone, but we still have you everybody's responsible for their own actions. Let me start by saying that.
Absolutely.
However, we all do know that I would go on a limb and say 60% of Americans that wear a MAGA hat don't understand history. Period. And I think that that's reality, because I've had conversations. I don't back away from people. You put me in a room with 15 KKK card-toting members, and they're gonna just turn their back and not talk to me. We're gonna have a conversation.
All right. So pause for the cause. I'm already late.
You see that hard stop? You're like,
because so we're gonna switch over to YouTube right now. So because Sanctuary asked the question,
we want to answer that. We're going to answer on YouTube.
Someone gonna want to tackle or not tackle.
I'm with you, Sanctuary.
All right. So it's about to get real deep. So everybody in the Facebook land, make sure you click on. What in the world is this? Anyway, everybody in the Facebook land, make sure you click on the link to YouTube. We are rolling over. I'm closing it out here, but we're going to continue on in YouTube, and everyone gets a break.
And Juke and Joe about to get it.
I think history favored them, so they were okay. All right, let's go. We leaving, closing out. So everybody, of course, hang tight.
Yeah.
So
on Joe Biden when we come back.
Joe Biden and more.
Exactly.
Listen, I'm a bust. I'm gonna work on my segue there. I'm gonna just bust it. Come over to YouTube.
Yes, YouTube.
Are you on? You don't have Facebook. Go to Brothers of Legacy. Brothers of Legacy. Search it.
The whole word. The Brothers of
Legacy. Brothers of Legacy. And you'll see the symbol. Look for the symbol. Yeah. You gotta get you some Facebook, brother. It makes it easier. Life is just a tad bit.
Make sure you put the in there. If you don't put the in there, it's gonna take you to something else.
Yeah.
Right.
That ain't what you want.
All right. So we're rolling. All right. Let me shut this down. Bam.
All right. Now, and Lisa's already over here. She's already met.
She already in the mix.
She's already over here.
Lisa, do me a favor, please. Please send me your address again so I can put your book in the mail, please. I just got them from the publisher, and I need your address. So when you get a moment, shoot me that so I can send your book.
Oh, Life Evolution Coach in the building. All
Put
right.
me down for a copy, D. I'll shoot you the money, man.
Oh shoot! Look at that,
man.
All right. Let's go.
They rocking the house.
All right, we on Biden.
Yeah.
You said okay.
So this is my thing.
The evil empire.
Yeah. If okay.
We look taller on YouTube, yo.
We vote in America. It comes down to two candidates. Somebody can tell me the exact number, but we close to 300 million people in America, right? It's impossible for us to agree with everything by one person. All right. There's a lot that I liked about President Obama, and there's some policies he's had that I didn't care for. So what does Joe Biden represent? He represents a lot of different things. But let me be clear what I'm saying about the Magna hat. When you come with that hat, you are saying something. All right. If the Detroit Lions go 0-16 and I wear that hat, I know I'm about to hear it from somebody that morning about how sorry my team is. How you gonna represent them? All that.
The Detroit Kitties.
Come on, man. So for me, and I will admit in my immaturity, it is wrong to stereotype you. But in my caution, I have to stereotype you in order to survive. And what I don't believe they all understand, and not just calling out that particular race, but because if you watch the RNC, there's some there's both races representing black voices for Trump. So, but all I'm saying is when I see that hat, I feel that you come on, man. Herschel got. I want them to take the Heisman, but when I was Herschel, man, like his black card ain't enough. I want it all.
I want it all.
I want it all. So when I see you with that hat, you represent that. Like it makes me feel that you have heard what he said and that you agree. It's a sign off. If you see me with a Black Lives Matter shirt, it feels more like I'm saying, hey, it's almost like a stop sign. Like, hey, stop, don't kill me. Like this matters. The Trump hat seems a little bit more aggressive. It feels like you're coming at me. I feel like you say, hey, what's up? I'm ready for something. You know, right. So yeah, no, I'm not gonna say because of Trump that Joe Biden, I'm not giving him no pass. Like I said, I don't want to speak too negative because I don't want to discourage those people who don't vote to not vote. So I'm trying to speak positive. But I'm just saying in general, this whole election cycle is just crazy.
We do not have a viable candidate for president that we are aware of, that we know of.
Yeah. Right.
Well, this has been the case.
But you have to make a choice.
Right.
Yeah. And I choose that over that. Like he has brought down the office. Kanye is running for president, man. That's Trump feeling like he made the office like anybody can do it. Just get enough money. Bloomberg spent what was it, $500,000, $500 million on advertisement. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy. Yes. There's no dignity to the office anymore. Like he brought it down.
Yeah, there's no. Yeah.
Is it fair to say that this has always been the case, but we just are noticing it now because it's in the prime of our lifetimes? Is that a fair assertion?
Like maybe we weren't so aware younger or something like that.
And now because it's because I'm seeing the same things over and over. No, I can't say that because I voted for George Bush. And a lot of people disagree with that. I was a military man, so my life directly, my life directly was influenced a whole lot faster than the average person by who was the president. So when President Bush says A, B, and C, as a soldier that's deployed, you want the president to say something, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
Now, at the same time, if you lived in New Orleans 15 years ago, you pissed off and you like screw Bush.
Yeah.
I remember Lil Wayne made the song Georgia Bush.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
but
a
at
great
the time,
point, D.
he was your boss.
Oh yeah, okay.
Right.
The commander in chief, and so your perspective and your allegiance was a whole lot different.
Right.
Yeah.
You're not sitting at home watching CNN or Fox News or anything. You're getting a lot of your information through the military channel.
Right.
So it makes sense. You have to do a whole lot of extra research while in the military to understand or contradict your president.
Right.
You got to. I mean, you got to put in some serious work to get the insight. If you want to challenge it, otherwise you're going to go along with your commander in chief because that's how you're trained in the military.
Wow.
But I have no problem with that though, too, Pastor. And it should be cool. Who you vote for is who you vote for, right? Like we can have some little opinions, and that's cool. But I just feel with this president, this is a little different. It feels like you're signing up for a thing. You know what I mean? It's like
what I'm saying is now this president has been so outside the box that even military people are speaking against it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is
that's the difference today than when Dwayne was in the military, or even longer ago when I was in the military. Right? Because you have access to more information. You have more access to your family. When I was in the military, man, we were still writing letters.
I remember that.
When I had a conversation with if I had a conversation with my mother from South Korea, I mean, it took like 45 minutes just to make contact.
Wow.
Because of the process you had to go through.
Gotcha.
Now you got folks out on the battlefield talking to their loved ones while guns are firing in the background.
Hey, baby, hold on. I got it. Hold on.
Let me know if you say something.
Hey, let me ask you guys, since you had that background, what is it like? Well, no, let me ask more directly. The influence. Do you feel influence from the chain of command to go one way or the other? I know they can't like straight out say this who you voting for, but is there influence, political push?
That's a good question.
I never felt any, and I joined the army under Bill Clinton, and then George Bush won the presidency, and then President after 2 tours of him, I was in with 1 tour of President Obama. The one thing you always kind of sort of knew who voted for who. It was like an unspoken thing.
Yeah.
But the people who had it the worst were officers, because officers couldn't say anything. Like it was in their oath of office. Like they couldn't even speak against the president 9 times out of 10. Like we had a leeway on the enlisted side where we could voice our opinion. He's still our commander in chief, and you're still going to do what his orders are. But officers, they had it worse than the enlisted side. We had more expression than they did. I didn't really see what I will say is this: if you look up, I'd say going back to Reagan at a minimum. If you want to know how the military generally feels about the president, Republicans generally believe in a strong military, and they generally believe in putting more money into the military, paying the military better, developing better weapon systems. The Democrats don't. One thing that I noticed from President Clinton to President Obama was we got bigger raises when President Bush came into office. It went from, I remember the last year that President Clinton was in office, I think it was a 1.2% raise. The first year that President Bush was in office, it was like a 5.2% raise.
Okay, Bush.
Wow.
Yeah, but the economy was stronger.
Right. That's true. Say again.
So
the economy was stronger.
The economy was stronger with Clinton than with Bush.
Yeah.
See, but then you got to think of who is the economy directly affecting, and this is where sometimes there's a lot of difference of opinions are. Because if I'm in the military, my economy is stable regardless of where I am. It only depends of the town that's around me. So if that town has a strong economy with a strong local economy, I'm not feeling the same pressures the rest of the country is feeling. Yeah. So when the unemployment levels are high, it's almost like a false promise, because as a soldier, I'm not seeing a bunch of people without a job, because where I am, 20 to 40% of the population is in the military and spending money in that environment. Right. So jobs
which makes it easier to just follow leadership.
Right.
Yeah, because they're taking care of you.
Everybody's good.
And those are those tweaks that pastors are talking about that a lot of people don't see.
So I mean, I get it with the MAGA hat. I think it all started, with his rallies. When the rallies were like, they were already divided there at the rallies. Like his speeches kind of created that divide. Yeah. So of course we connected to the hat, and then all of us, when you hear "Make America Great Again," it's like, again, like what time? When? What era are we talking?
Like slavery, like
right. Like, y'all had 100% employment.
When it comes to the hat, I gotta let me backtrack. I'm 100% with y'all. When it comes to the hat, there is no ifs, ands, or buts about it, because, like you said, it started in the rallies, and I honestly believe that it was one of those things that it was a cry to a targeted audience,
right?
Because this is the vote that I'm looking for,
right?
Yeah.
So you had to deal with President number 44 for 8 years,
yeah,
and some of y'all don't like him. I'm not going to say the word, but some of y'all know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I can say it without saying it.
Yeah.
So Make America Great Again became a cry to those people who felt like they were disenfranchised during the Obama administration.
And it opened the door for us to really understand just how large that audience was.
I did not know that was large like that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it's further.
They came out. The thing is, they came out like racism has always been here.
Yeah.
Ain't never gone nowhere.
Didn't know where they came from.
When Donald Trump started talking, people said, here's our chance.
Woodwork on y'all.
Right. Yeah.
Here's our chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask y'all a question.
Here's a chance.
Because you in front of Donald Trump and somebody throws a snowball at Donald Trump, do the Secret Service yell, "Donald Duck"?
That's a good question. I would love to ask that. That's one of those dad jokes. I was telling my brother.
I was thinking, like, even in the church, if you went to the church, and I guess maybe one of the most disenfranchised, if you want to use that word, groups in the church is the youth. Youth don't pay no tithes. They silly. They ain't got a car. So, a lot of times they get put to the side. But if I went there and started like trying to rile them up by being divisive, like, if you don't like,
you don't deserve to have a curfew.
What's a curfew? And what you gonna do with $2 of allowance? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you tried everybody else, try me, and then they rise up, and nobody takes me serious. I did not take him serious. I'm talking about when he was received the nomination. I literally just kept thinking, well, and I remember a Times article that said Hillary's race to lose. Like, he was that much of a joke that nobody even, like, she got to kill this for him to win, and he did. But if the use language that's divisive to try to play on your fears, it did get a result. It did, but it's just. Is that how you want to go out? Is that how you want to be remembered? Man, he was already a billionaire. He could have just left it at that. But
I don't think he's racist.
You don't think he's racist?
What?
This is
you don't think who's racist?
I don't think Donald Trump's racist.
I gotta disagree, my friend.
Let me tell you why I say that. I think Donald Trump is an opportunist. Right. I think Donald Trump will do whatever gives him what his end goal is. If you go back, I mean, rap culture, the biggest drop person for the longest in hip hop, And the reason that is because he was standing next to Jesse Jackson. He was giving Jesse Jackson the award. He was standing with the Jay-Z's. He was standing with the Eric B's, the Rakims, the Big Daddy Kanes. He was, although he was still doing his full page ads or this people can't stay. This is the thing. Right. Where can I get what I want from? Can I use them? Oh, so I'm gonna go over here. Can I use them? I'm gonna go over here. If you look at Donald Trump has taken more pictures with black people and given money to black charities in the 80s and the early 90s. And I know it sounds crazy. Than a lot of black billionaires have. I would argue that Oprah.
Say that again.
I would argue that Oprah hasn't given as much money. Hold on, money alone to some black causes than President Trump. And then
not racist though.
I'm saying I think he's an opportunist.
Okay.
I think the only thing he cares about is money in his way, and he will use anything and anybody to get it. Okay. He told us that he was going to run Republican. He told us why he was going to run Republican, and Republicans are making it that simple for him to run and win. He said that they don't think. I
don't agree, but I did. Right. I understood.
We're gonna move from one to the other. So I'm gonna let Pastor go, and then Terry gonna share, and then you can jump in on Terrell. Yeah.
I'm gonna talk, but I'm gonna put this on so you can hear the words, but you can't see my mouth moving.
Yeah.
Donald Trump is an opportunist. Mm-hmm. He loves taking advantage of a situation. Donald Trump stood with Big Daddy Kane. He stood with Jay-Z. He stood with those folks because Donald Trump is a New Yorker.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
So how can you be in New York and think that you're going to do anything and you're not connected to the movers and shakers in New York?
Right.
That's just good business.
Right.
Yeah. Donald Trump has given a lot to black organizations because that's just good business.
Right. Yeah.
Donald Trump is as great a marketing person as Ray A. Kroc. Do y'all know who Ray Kroc is?
Mickey D's, baby. My favorite stove.
All right.
Right. That's why you get onions on your quarter pounder.
Shut up.
Go ahead, Pastor.
He's a great marketer. That's why his name is on buildings that he doesn't have offices in.
Yeah, yeah.
So yes, all of that is true. But it is also true that Donald Trump don't like black people.
Mm-hmm. I believe so.
That as much history as you have with his marketing, with his giving, you have the equal amount of history with his dislike for black people.
Right.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's just the reality. And it came out during the Central Park 5.
Right.
If there was ever a time where he made it, where he validated it, it was that season.
Yeah.
Look at his history, look at his father, and here's the thing: where he is right now. I want you to please understand this. And you're right. He did say, if I was ever to run for office, I would run as a Republican because you can tell them anything. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
But does that make what he's saying disingenuous? I think he's sincere in his talk.
Yeah.
Not I think. He is sincere. Why? Because he's so comfortable saying it.
Right.
When there was an opportunity for him to stand against black oppression, he did not. He has never stood against black oppression.
Not.
Never.
One little bit.
And the one opportunity he had to take a stand, you're seeing the results of it now.
Yeah.
Facts.
The reality is everybody who knew him then knows him now, and they are on his side. The question is, are they on his side or is he on their side? That's the part that you don't really know.
Yeah.
And that's an easy answer. He's on his side.
Yeah. Self-serving.
He's self-serving.
Yeah, he's self-serving, but you know,
and I think that's worse than a racist.
No, but so is Oprah.
Right.
Oprah's self-serving, but don't nobody call her a racist.
Right.
Right.
I don't know,
She's a
but
man,
I don't
she's a
think
man-hating ball buster, but she's
that she is.
she's not a racist.
That she is.
Right.
There was a time when people questioned whether or not Michael Jordan liked the color of his skin.
Right.
Well, both of them, her and Ellen need to worry about being on Epstein's plane right now. That's what they need to worry about.
Ellen, I need for Ellen to take several seats. She's going to be part of the podcast. Here's my thing with Trump. Not only is he racist, he's a narcissistic racist, and that's
that's a fact,
right there.
And that's rough. Because if it doesn't, I mean, here's the thing: his best mouthpiece just stepped down in the White House. Kellyanne Conway just said,
right.
And so that's bad. Yeah,
don't say it without explaining why.
Now
I didn't hear that.
She said the story is that her and her husband stepped down because of family stuff. They're going to take off and do family stuff.
Trump then tried to grab about a.
What?
Probably he probably already did. He smashed that.
Tell what you know. Why did she step? Family stuff.
Well, the story isn't clear. I've heard the only story I've heard that she's stepping down is. Am I muted? No. The only story that I've read that the reason why she's stepping down is because she wanted to take more time to be and do with family, just like the husband said the same thing. Even though he is part of an initiative they're trying to get Trump out of office. He said he stepped down from that position as well, but still will pursue that particular project religiously.
She's stepping down.
That's the only story I've heard.
Have you heard her daughter?
What happened?
Her daughter has been all over social media talking about how crazy.
Oh yeah, got it. Yeah, the daughter got it. Yeah, I heard about that.
Down because even she's losing her family behind this nonsense.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah. Everybody's like, no.
He's gotten so crazy that her own. See this is the part that people have to understand. Going back to the earlier, the original topic today about consistency in the family.
Right.
You have raised children with a certain mindset.
Right.
Yeah.
You've gotten so bad that now your own children are questioning you.
Yeah, based off what you told them.
Right.
Right.
So you are messing with the very fabric, the very foundation of your family.
That's good.
Right.
That's good. That's good.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's gotten so bad that tells me that all along you've known it was a game.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something. I knew Kellyanne Conway was when she put her feet on the couch in the White House in the Oval Office.
Yeah.
That ain't protocol.
That
ain't protocol.
Right.
But I'm saying, like, it's just a couch, right? But it's what it represents. It's where you are.
That's America's couch.
Right. You're telling me, you're telling me that you're so comfortable.
Right.
Right. You're so comfortable that you're going to take your shoes and put your feet on the couch in the Oval Office with the cameras on.
Right.
So that told me back then, oh, y'all just playing.
Yeah.
Right.
It wouldn't be playing.
Yeah. And that's what bothers me.
So when we talk about, what Donald Trump represents and all this kind of stuff, when people like Kellyanne Conway, who have been with him from jump,
step
down, and they say for family reasons,
right.
the alarm should be going off for people.
Right.
Yeah.
I would venture to say that there's more people that have resigned, quit, or been fired.
Yeah.
In the last 3 years,
he's going for a record.
Than everybody's entire terms. It's like every week there's somebody new.
Well, if that's the case,
that's like jumping ship. They must be fired somewhere.
To Ephraim's point, Kellyanne Conway was the last person from the original administration.
Oh, he got a new one. The new White House.
But she's the original.
No, so you're saying that out of all of his staff,
she's the last one. She was the last one standing in the original.
It didn't last 3 years. Is what you
bottom girl,
right?
Yeah.
Right.
So she just chose somebody else.
Yeah. Steady choosing.
I mean, I remember watching her on CNN and all, and she would blatant
Man.
bald face lie.
But that's the biggest problem though for me, Terry. Like okay, let's say Trump your guy and you support him, you with him. I understand loyalty.
Yeah.
But like it's the denial. Like, nah, he ain't say that. Nah, he didn't, even what Dwayne was saying. What he's talking about, racist or not, that's an opinion, right? We can argue over it.
Right.
But when this man gives you fact, when he says a thing and then you tell me I didn't just hear what he just said, I got a problem with that. And I felt bad. What was the first one he had? Sean, the press secretary.
Sean Spicer.
Sean Spicer. I felt bad for that man. He was on the rest. This man was he would go out there to defend the president's policy, and somebody would get something on Twitter from the president right then. He would have to be like,
you notice the equivalent of?
Oh man,
we all like football, right? This is what that's the equivalent of. That's the equivalent of you going in the game as a running back,
right?
To find out that your right tackle just got hurt to play before, and now you got a left guard that ain't played in the NFL, and Lawrence Taylor is a linebacker on that.
This ain't gonna go well.
Look how they fixed it though. See, now the White House press secretary has a big binder with tabs.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. She can flip straight over to give responses. Right. Yeah. That's what they've done to try and alleviate the discomfort for a White House press secretary.
Yeah, because they were always up to this.
You can no longer just shoot from the hip. Right now they've got type responses for everything. And she flips over to the tab regarding the Middle East. She flips over to the tab regarding COVID-19. She flips over to the tab regarding taxes. She flips over to the tab, right? And she's got a gift of continuing to commentate. Right? Wow.
Can I let you in on something, Pastor? Can I let you in on something, Pastor? That's not new.
Did anybody do it for her?
They're just the first ones to use it because she got it.
She got it.
And when I say this,
the rest of them had on their cell phone. I got you.
Look, check it out. One of the things that when I was in Korea, it was the only time that I interacted with the White House, and it wasn't the White House as we know it. It was a person on my level at the White House.
Okay.
But the amount of information we knew and the different caveats of classifications we had was through the roof. Yes. But I will say this. We called it a black book. Black books were updated 4 hours before 4 o'clock. So from midnight to 4 o'clock, every single day, we worked on every bit of pertinent information throughout the world, anywhere in the world. And here you go, sir. This is what's going on. And certain things, if certain things happen, we could wake people up,
Yeah.
So they've had this at least since I was a private in the Army.
Right.
Because I'm
saying I know the policy, I know the process.
The briefing.
What I'm saying is, to your point, they weren't using that. Because Donald Trump,
and that's why I'm saying it's gotten that bad that they have to use it.
Right. That's right. Even at one point, there was a notebook, just a folder with 2 pockets, with information,
just in case.
Right. Now you have a binder with tabs.
The 5-page binder.
Look at the phone book.
Right. I think it was, before it was easy because it was all on the same page. Yeah. That page never changed unless something dramatic happened. But now as I get up there, I got to find out what this dude tweeted so I don't look like a fool and contradict what he just said. Right. We don't do it. Oh, wait, hold on. What we going to do?
And that's what it is. It's the tweets.
It's so bad. Kellyanne Conway.
If his whole administration would be different if they would have took away the tweets, because to his defense, he is not the first crazy president we had. I think Nixon was the Antichrist. He was supposed to be back in the 70s. Reagan went much better in the 80s, so he's not the first one. But if they could just get the Twitter out of his hand, man,
that's
do y'all remember when do you remember when George Bush went to Louisiana after Katrina and said, I think Brown is doing a heck of a job down here.
Right.
You remember famous last words. I think Brown is doing a heck of a job down here.
Yeah.
Right? So if there was ever a time to recognize something was broken in that man's mindset,
right,
that was it. When he said, I mean, I remember watching the TV and the press was following him, and he had a vest on with his collared shirt, long sleeves, and he said, I think Brown is doing a heck of a job down here. At that moment, I said, that man had lost his mind.
Yeah.
If you look in Louisiana and say anybody was doing a heck of a job on that day.
But that's a leadership lesson too. That is sometimes it's just best to be quiet, man. But I feel as a leader, people feel pressure to have to say something in a situation. But like at funerals, that's when you hear the dumbest stuff. People feel pressure to be like, I got the one word that's gonna change all this. Like, bro, hush. But he has been. That Twitter really did it for him, man. It's just like it does for everybody. Social media gives you the ability to respond too fast, man.
Right.
Like just slow down and think about it.
Keyboard thug though. That's Donald Trump.
Yeah.
But even to try to give it a
Somebody should throw up. I am to let that dude.
I see that. But they give it some comedy relief. But to answer the question that the show officially started on, Matthew 7:24-27.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we do it. In America, look, we're going through it right now.
Right.
What is your house built on? Democrats are giving you a nominee that's put more black men in prison than any other presidential candidate.
Right.
Yep.
What ground are you standing on? Is your house built on sand? Is your house
wait. No.
You ain't gonna let it slide there?
I'm not let that slide. I'm not gonna do that. Okay, listen.
Stop me when I lie. When I lie. Let me say that.
She's not okay. She's not doing all those people over there in California.
I'm talking about Joe Biden.
You talking
about
Joe?
His legislation,
his crime bill. Yeah,
I'm not talking about Kamala. She was doing her job.
Let Joe live.
Oh, Joe's the same person that said, "Look, Joe and Trump are not different.
They different.
The difference is one of them realizes that in order to win the Democrats, I got to play this hand. The other one is like, I already got these jokers won, so I can just be me."
Dwayne, do you feel one would listen? Do you think Joe would listen? Do you think Joe could change?
I haven't seen. Look, I look at his fruit.
Kamala over there.
I don't care. I look at his fruit. I don't put him in any different category. He's a better speaker when it comes to the nonsense that comes out of his mouth. But
wait,
he's not going to say there's fine people on both sides of this.
Right. That's the dividing line. He won't speak over the nonsense. He'll at least say something. So I give him that.
But his actions, his fruit has been the same since when he first says, "I don't want my children going to an integrated school. I don't want them going to a jungle." And if you didn't know he said that, all you got to do is look at he created when he started putting us in jail at a higher rate.
Right.
I'm not saying he's not a better person than Trump, but it's like saying this crackhead is better than this cokehead.
Oh, but my thing is,
we'll take the cokehead.
I think we have more of an opportunity maybe to make something happen in with the party with Joe, as opposed to I guess what we have now, because what we have to kind of push through, unless we keeping it real, unless we paint it differently, like we talked about yesterday, take away the black and make it the general and serve it up like that. We have more of an opportunity, but we definitely I think with the Democrat Party, I think we'll have a better opportunity. Man, that dog is getting what are y'all feeding that dog?
That's a person.
But, right.
I need to get my beard like that.
But we're gonna wrap it up. We appreciate you guys rocking and hanging and being with us on this awesome Thursday. Thank you for my YouTubers. Thank you for hanging out with us. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you give some thumbs up. You guys have been awesome in the comment section. Make sure you share this in Facebook. Let them know that we're hanging in YouTube, because soon and very soon we're gonna be in YouTube totally. So just prepare for that. What does a lazy person on a job do when they know their job is secure? Woo! All right, hold on.
Yeah. That second administration gonna be a mug, boy.
Right.
No, they've actually said it out loud. I mean, if you look, I mean,
Wow.
I know we're trying to close out, but
Yeah.
it has been stated publicly by people in the White House. They said, if you think it's crazy now, imagine what happens if it ends again.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The last four is always rough.
Go to your
Yeah.
job, and they say you can't be fired. I'm gonna act a fool in there. What?
Yeah, please no.
All right.
We're
Please no. He gonna cut the almighty crazy if he win
We're
again.
definitely gonna see the real Trump. If he
Right.
wins,
Yeah.
there's gonna be
Definitely.
no ifs, ands, and buts about it. Because I can't be president no more.
Yeah.
I'm already in here for the last time. Y'all got 4 years for me to say.
And all his cabinet members, all those other people who are supporting him now are going to get everything that they want in the last 4 years.
They'll feel more
That's what he's
empowered.
promising everybody.
Yeah, that's
And
what
that's the thing that
scary.
people don't understand.
That's why they should have killed Epstein. Epstein would have got pardoned, man. They shouldn't have killed him though.
Yeah, they should let it go. Hey, I'm going to coin a famous phrase. If anybody in here is a wrestling fan, like I was a wrestling fan, there was a faction in the WWE called DX.
Yeah.
And what Dwayne just thinks, yeah. So I can tell you right now, if Donald Trump wins the election, he's going to
That's how
say,
it's going down.
and if you're not down with that, I got 2 words for you. It's gonna be crazy.
All right, guys. We roll out here. Tomorrow is
X-Pac.
Freestyle Friday.
Tomorrow's Freestyle Friday.
I'm
Tomorrow,
ready.
so we look forward to seeing you guys. As always, know that the Brother of Legacy loves you, but God loves you more. We see you tomorrow in the AM. Peace out.
Absolutely.